Unit 1, Part A, Activity 2A. Listen. Write the words under the pictures.
Tim, come over here, quick.
Are those our new neighbours? I don't really like having new people around.
Give them a chance. Look, the daughter seems friendly. She's smiling and waving at everyone.
She seems pretty too. She's got blue eyes just like me. But I'm not sure I like her wavy blonde hair. The father looks tired. Maybe he's hard-working.
And he's wearing glasses and has a moustache. He must be a professor.
Don't be silly.
Oh, look at the mum. She's got wavy hair too, just like her daughter, but hers is black. She is really tall. What do you think?
She's definitely taller than our mum, but mum's prettier, of course. She looks very easygoing and polite. Look at that. She just greeted the other person with a smile and bowed. What? She gave her some bread too? Oh, she seems kind.
That bread looks delicious. We should go say hi. Maybe they'll give us some bread too.
I don't think that's a good idea, Lynn. Hey, come back here.
Unit 1, Part A, Activity 2B. Listen again. Write the names in your notebook. Unit 2, Part A, Activity 2A. Listen to the conversation between Vicky and another woman. Answer the questions.
Can you take me to my house?
Yes, of course. Where's your house?
Go straight and take the 5th right, then turn left and drive straight for 2 blocks.
Okay, I think I got it.
You know it's pretty unusual to see a female tuk-tuk driver. Why is that?
There are many reasons from both the customers and the drivers. Some women think it's too tiring and uncommon to do this job because they only see men do it. Many customers also don't trust us and think we're too weak, so we don't get many customers.
It shouldn't matter to me as long as you drive carefully. What exactly do you do with this job?
I always leave my house before 5 a.m. to deliver a big amount of vegetables, meat, and other goods to the sellers at the market. They order from the farmers and they hire me to pick up what they buy. This usually takes about 2 hours. Then, I always go to my regular place at Angkor Thom Temple and take customers to places.
Do you have any children?
Yes, I do. I have 3 boys, and that's why I stop working around 11 a.m. I often need to pick them up from school or make lunch for them at home. And after that, we rest for a little bit before I take them to their extra classes at 12:30 p.m. and continue my work at Angkor Wat Temple.
What do you do after then?
It's usually the same as in the morning, but occasionally I get tourists that want to hire me as a driver and a guide for the entire afternoon, which allows me to earn more. Sometimes when I don't have customers, my neighbors pay me to buy some snacks for them from the shops.
Do you leave work at 5 p.m.?
No, my husband always returns from the factory in the evening, so he cooks and takes care of the kids. I often stop by to get dinner and head off to Pub Street because there are always many people there. I usually earn more at night, so I return home around midnight every day.
That really sounds like a busy job. Do you have time for yourself at all?
I often catch a quick nap after lunch while I wait for the customers. I forgot to say that I only work from Monday to Saturday, so I have 1 day off. On Sundays, I rarely wake up before 7 a.m. and my husband and children takes turn making meals for us as well. I often just do the gardening, go shopping for groceries, and study English so that I can communicate better.
I think you have a nice and supportive family. By the way, how much do you earn on average per day?
My income isn't much. I earn around $10 to $20, but sometimes it's double that amount.
That's my house. Here's $10. Keep the change. And my name's Vicky. What's your name?
Thank you so much. I'm Gunti.
Kunti. Give me your number. I'll call you when I want to go around.
Thank you.
Unit 3, Part A, Activity 3A. Listen to the conversation. In your notebook, number the questions from Activity 2 as you hear them.
Hello, Vicky.
Oh, hi, Tita. Come in. I'm just making some tea. Come and join me.
That would be lovely. Thanks, Vicky. Actually, Vicky, I wanted to ask you some questions. As you know, we just moved here. I haven't lived in Siem Reap since I was a little girl, and things have changed a lot. I don't know how to do anything anymore.
Okay, sure. I'll help if I can. What would you like to know?
Well, we would like to go out for a meal tonight. I'd like to ask you which your favorite restaurant is.
Well, we like Soul Kitchen. We had a terrible meal there the first time, but since then, it's always been really good.
Sounds good. We'll try it tonight. And can you tell me where I can catch a bus to Battambang? I have to go there this weekend to visit my old friend.
Well, there are different buses, and you have to go to the right bus station. You can buy a ticket online. I'll help you.
Great. That makes it much easier. Also, I need to take a taxi tonight. Do you know how I can order a taxi?
Yes, there are apps that you can use now. It's very easy, and the taxis and tuk-tuks are cheaper. Just download the app to your phone. I'll show you that too.
Oh yes, that would really help. Also, I'd like to know how I pay the electricity bill.
Well, there's an app for that too nowadays. Or, if you prefer, you can go to the EDC office and pay it there.
Okay, I think I'll go to the office and pay it there. Now, Marcel wants to join the gym. He exercises a lot, so I was wondering where the best gym is.
That's easy. He can go with Richard. Shall I ask Richard to invite him? His friend Samnang sometimes goes too.
Oh, that would be great, Vicky. He likes to work out with friends. I'll tell him. Now, what was next? Oh yes, do you have any idea how I can see a doctor?
Well, you can usually go to the hospital and just tell them your name and wait. It doesn't take long. Or you can call first if you want to be sure.
It isn't serious. I'll just go when I have time. Now, we all need something to get around town. Would you mind telling me where you bought your scooter?
Well, I'm not sure. We have two in the family that we share, but Richard and Tim bought them. I'll ask them and then let you know.
Yes, please, Vicky. Right, just a couple more things. I'd like to know when I put the rubbish out. Can I put it outside the house every day?
Yes, you can put the rubbish out every evening between 7 and 10 p.m. They collect it every day.
Good, that's easy then. So finally, could I ask you where the best place to buy vegetable is? I like them to be very fresh.
That's easy. Our friend Lekana sells vegetables on the market. I'm going to go there myself this afternoon. Would you like to come with me? You can meet her.
Oh, sure, I'd like to. You've been very helpful. Thank you so much. So let's drink our tea and then we can go to the market.
Unit 3, Part A, Activity 3B. Listen again. Match the polite phrases A to H with the questions from Activity 2. Unit 4, Part A, Activity 2A. Tim and Nicole are having a conversation in class. What did their teacher ask them to talk about?
I honestly can't remember much about my past habits that I no longer do. Can you, Nicole?
Me too. It's been so long since we were in elementary school. Let's try our best to recall elementary school memories.
I can remember some now. I used to ask my mum to get me those cartoon stickers every time we went to the store. I was crazy about those stickers. My mum was sometimes angry with me because I used to stick them everywhere in the house.
Oh, really? It was the same for me. I always got so excited when I got those star stickers from my teacher. You know what? I still buy them now when I see the cute ones, so I think I can't count it as a past habit.
My sister does that all the time too.
Oh, I remember some now. I used to watch Barbie movies again and again. My parents didn't understand why I kept watching the same thing. But now I don't like them anymore.
For me, I used to spend so much time doing jigsaws. I always wanted boxes of jigsaws as Christmas gifts. I can't even remember why I stopped doing it.
Tim, did you do any after-school activities in elementary school? I used to go to dance class every day after school until I was in grade 5. I think I stopped going because I didn't enjoy it anymore.
I think I did. I used to go to my school science club all the time until I finished elementary school. We got to do fun stuff in science lab. I enjoyed it a lot.
Okay, class, let's share your answers.
Unit 4, Part A, Activity 2B. Listen again and decide if the sentence is true or false. Write the answers in your notebook. Unit 5, Part A, Activity 3A. Listen to Vicky. How is her graduation day different or similar to your country?
My grade 12 graduation day was far from perfect, but it was a really memorable one. Things started well on that day. I woke up just in time at 6 in the morning. I took a really long shower and thought about how my life was about to change. I would be leaving my friends and moving to a new city. Then I helped my mom prepare breakfast. We were all in good spirits. Mom and Dad were very proud of me. When we reached the school, I greeted my friends and quickly walked away to change into my graduation gown. That's when I realized it wasn't in the car. I had forgotten it on the table in the living room. Dad had to drive back home quickly for it. The ceremony itself was really boring. Some important people gave very long talks, and we sat there for nearly 2 hours. My friends and I started passing notes to each other. Back then, our phones were only for calls and text messaging. We couldn't take selfies or chat with our phones. When it was time to get our diploma, we were all feeling great again. I gave my teacher a silk scarf as a present. Some of my classmates gave her presents too. My dad took us straight to a nice restaurant, and to my surprise, my grandpa, grandma, aunt, uncle, and cousins were there. They bought a very big cake, and we had a very special meal. I received more presents from my family as the day ended, but the best present was a little gift from my brother Billy. He made a special card for me, and my mom and dad also wrote messages on it. I take that card with me wherever I go to remind myself how much we love each other as a family.
Unit 5, Part A, Activity 3B. Listen again and order the sentences. Number the sentences 1 to 6 in the order you hear them. Write the numbers in your notebook. Unit 6, Activity 5C. Listen and check your answers. What is this recording about? Which country celebrates this?
In Mexico, the second day of November is an unforgettable day. It's called the Day of the Dead. Don't misunderstand and think that it's just a boring day, because it's actually the opposite. On this day, families gather and visit the gravesides to clean and decorate the graves. After the cleaning, they usually eat lunch and perform some entertainment, such as singing or telling jokes to entertain the deceased. The purpose is to remind everyone that their loved ones are still living in their hearts. For some people that can't make it, they can set up altars and decorate them at home instead, and they can reunite with other family members and have a good time just like at the graveside. One thing that everyone should remember is to avoid behaving and drinking irresponsibly. In towns and cities, it's impossible not to notice the colourful and cheerful celebration. There are parades with people wearing skeleton makeup and costumes while singing and dancing in the streets. It's so lively that it's hard to think that the day is for the dead.
Unit 7, Part A, Activity 4A. Listen to Kanya, Viesna and Meng talking about their trips to Mundalgiri and Ratanagiri. Who did each activity?
My name is Kanya. I went to Mundalgiri at Pshumban last year with my family. We stayed at a lovely guest house in the mountains. We did a lot of things. First, we went to the waterfall and took some nice photos. After that, we went on the short trek in the mountains and saw some local animals. And finally, we climbed a mountain to see the sunset and the views of the forest.
Hello, I'm Visna. My brother and I visited the Putang ethnic village last month. It was amazing. Firstly, we talked to the local people and they told us about their life and their culture. Then, we had a short lesson and they taught us how to say some common phrases in their language, which is called Pnong. Afterwards, they cooked dinner and showed us how to prepare some local food. Lastly, they showed us how they make the colorful clothes that they wear.
Hi, I'm Ming. I went on a short camping trip to Yetlaum Lake in Ratanagiri. It was really nice. First, I got up at sunrise and went for an early morning swim. The water was cold, but it felt very fresh and nice. Next, I took some photos of the fishing birds that you can see on the water there. Lastly, I bought some souvenirs that are made by the local people to give to my friends and family.
Unit 7, Part A, Activity 4B. Listen to the recording again. Listen for the sequencing adverbs in the box. Which adverbs do we use to show the beginning, to move on to the next thing, and to show the end? Write in your notebook. Unit 7, Part B, Activity 2A. Listen to the conversation and answer the true or false questions.
Hi, Nicole. You're back from your trip to Phnom Penh? How was it?
Hey, Tim. Hi, Kasal. Oh, it was great, thanks. Well, apart from the 7-hour bus journey to get there, That was boring. But I haven't been to Phnom Penh before. I went on a 3-day motorbike tour in and around the city.
Did you rent a scooter?
No, I had a driver. I was on the back of the motorbike and the driver took me around. He was a 60-year-old man, and he was good fun, and he took me to lots of places.
Was it expensive?
Well, not really. I bought a 3-day pass. You pay one price, and then you can go everywhere for 3 days for one price.
Where did you stay?
Oh, I got a good deal. I stayed in a 4-star hotel. I got it cheap. It was big, an 8-floor building, and it had a 25-meter swimming pool.
How much was it?
I got a big discount. It was a $40 room, but I paid half price, $20 a night. It was very busy, though. It's a 100-room hotel, and it was full.
Okay. I don't want to hear about the hotel. I want to hear about the tour. Where did you go? What did you see?
Well, on the first day, we did all the sad things. My mom's Cambodian, so I want to know about Cambodian history. So on day 1, first of all, we went to the killing fields, and then to the Tuol Sleng Genocide Museum. It was so sad, it made me cry. But I learned a lot. It made me understand how lucky I am to have a good life. After that, I had lunch, and then I wanted to do something nice. So I visited the Royal Palace and the Silver Pagoda.
What's the Silver Pagoda? I've never heard of it.
It's a pagoda that's next to the Royal Palace on the riverside. It's called the Silver Pagoda because the floor is made of silver. And there are many beautiful figures of the Buddha inside.
Yes, I've been there. It's amazing. Tim, you should go.
Oh yes, you should see that. Anyway, on day 2, we stayed in the city and had a relaxed day. First, the driver took me to Independence Monument, and I took some nice photos. And afterwards, we went to the National Museum. It's a really nice building, and there are some very interesting things inside from ancient Cambodia. We had lunch in a restaurant near the museum, and next we went to Wat Phnom, which is the most famous temple in Phnom Penh. It's very pretty, and it has a lovely garden outside with a clock made of flowers.
What about the last day, Nicole? What did you do then?
Well, first I wanted to buy some souvenirs, so the driver took me to Central Market. It's very big, and they sell a lot of things there. Later I'll show you what I bought. Finally, we got off the motorbike and went to Silk Island. The fastest way to get there is by boat. It's very relaxing and peaceful there. And you can see how they make the silk.
This sounds great, Nicole. I want to do this tour next time I go to Phnom Penh.
Well, tell me when you go, and I'll give you the phone number.
Unit 7, Part B, Activity 2B. Listen to the first part of the conversation again and complete the sentences with a number. Unit 7, Part B, Activity 2C. Listen to the second half of the conversation again. Number the places from Activity 1A in the order that Nicole visited them. Unit 8, Part A, Activity 3A. What is Casal talking about? Listen and write the answers in your notebook.
I have never lived close to a river before, but my mother has. She said when she was young, she lived in a village by the river in Kampong Cham province for a few years. She still visits our relatives in that village once in a while. For this homework, my mother helped me by sharing what she experienced living there. One of the good things about living close to a river is that it provides water for irrigations of plants and crops. A lot of water is needed for them to grow well. Different types of plants are grown on the river banks depending on the season. Fishing is another benefit of living close to the river. People can fish to make a living or to just feed their families. My mother told me that she remembered going on a fishing boat with my grandfather when they lived there. I think another great thing is you can go for a swim whenever you want, especially on hot sunny days. However, there are some disadvantages of living near the river as well. River banks can be flooded during rainy season, so people cannot grow anything. Sometimes the flood is so bad that some people need to leave their homes. In some places, the river is polluted by factories, big boats, or garbage, so people cannot really use the water for anything. In fact, it can cause them some health issues.
Unit 8, Part A, Activity 3B. Listen again. Answer the questions in your notebook. Unit 9, Part B, Activity 3A. Copy the table into your notebook. Listen and write the similarities and differences of each category.
Hello, class. Please be quiet. Today, our lesson will be about the oceans and continents. Tim, do you know how many oceans and continents there are?
There are 5 oceans and 7 continents, teacher.
Good job. We've already learned about the oceans, so let's focus on the continents for now. Nicole, can you name them?
Yes, I can. The continents are Asia, Australia, Europe, South America, North America, Africa, and Antarctica.
Great! Now that we know the continents and the oceans, let's discuss the similarities and differences between them. Take a look at our whiteboard. What can you see?
Teacher, there are 5 boxes and each box has a title. They are animals, pressure, sunlight, size, and plants.
Very good, Tim. We know that there are marine and land animals. Can someone name some of them? Oh, and give me a similarity and a difference too.
Marine animals are like whales, sharks, jellyfish, fish, etc. Land animals are horses, leopards, ostriches, and lots more. The similarity is the fact that sea animals need food as much as land animals, but some eat plants and others eat smaller animals.
You're right, Sarah. Anything else that is similar about them?
Sea animals need as much oxygen as land animals, but their breathing methods aren't as similar as we might think. Sea animals use their gills or skin, and land animals use lungs.
Thank you, Nicole. Okay, let's move on to the pressure. Do you think they're the same?
Of course not. The pressure on land isn't quite as heavy as the deepest part of the ocean.
Yes. If you stood at the bottom of the Mariana Trench, the weight of the pressure would crush your body completely. Anything else?
There's a similarity. Since the pressure decreases with height, it is pretty much the same. Standing on the ground or at the bottom of the ocean gives more pressure than when we fly high in the sky. or swim near the surface of the ocean.
Okay, let's think about the sun. Do you think there's sunlight in the deep part of the ocean?
No, teacher. After some depth, the ocean can be as dark as the night sky, while sunlight can reach everywhere on land unless there's something to block it.
Wonderful! Next is about the size. What do you think the surface of Earth is mainly made of?
Water.
Yeah. Even with all of the continents combined, they aren't as vast as the oceans. They both provide good environments for living creatures, though.
Yes, they do. The last one. What do you think is the main difference between plants on land and in the ocean? The marine plants can live in salt water for a long time, unlike the land plants.
Oh, teacher, I know a similarity. They both do photosynthesis. It means they need to convert sunlight into food, but ocean plants don't need as much sunlight as the plants on land. These two also convert carbon dioxide to oxygen, but land plants absorb it from the air, while marine plants absorb it from water.
That's a great detail, Nicole. All right, all of you have done a great job today. Take a short break and come back for your next class.
Yes, teacher.
Unit 10, Part A, Activity 2B. Listen, check, and repeat. 1. Dams. 2. Solar panel. 3. Waves. 4. Windmills. 10, Part A, Activity 3A. Listen to a talk show. Which is the most efficient energy source according to the speaker?
Welcome to the Earth Show. This is a show that highlights some of the things people are doing in order to take better care of the environment. Here with us today is environmentalist Tida. So, Tida, more and more countries are turning to renewable sources of energy, which are much less harmful to the environment. Can you tell us more about this?
Yes, of course. Renewable energy comes from the Earth's natural resources and is not limited and almost impossible to be used up completely. A good example is solar energy from the sun. The sun always shines and we know we will never run out of it. The only disadvantage is that solar panels, which are used to trap sunlight, can be very expensive.
I see. Can you tell us more about the other renewable sources of energy? What is hydroelectric energy?
This is energy produced from water. To do this, dams are built to collect water and then it flows through turbines to generate electricity. Hydroelectric power doesn't cause pollution, but the problem is some rivers and waterways are disrupted. This means fish and other animals found in the water might die out.
Do you think people have come up with a better solution by using wind energy?
Wind energy is certainly a very clean source of energy. Windmills are used to collect the power of the wind. China is currently leading the way and has installed more windmills than any other country in the world. However, one of the drawbacks is that wind farms are often built away from the city where electricity is most needed. Windmills can be noisy too.
And how does ocean thermal energy work?
Ocean thermal energy is pretty new, and scientists still have a lot of research to do to understand how we can use our oceans as a source of energy. Here, tides are used to generate electricity. Tides are created by the Earth's rotation and gravity of the moon. Obviously, this is also a very good source of energy, as much of the Earth's surface is covered by water. However, those who live near oceans can benefit more from this. The amount of energy produced will also depend on weather conditions. So we can't say for sure how much energy will be generated day by day.
Thank you, Tita. Which renewable source do you think is the best and most efficient?
In countries like Cambodia, where it's sunny most of the year, I think the best alternative source of energy is solar energy. But we have to remember that different methods work best in different countries. What's important is that we continue to look after our environment.
Thank you once again, Tita. That is all we have time for. Next week, we will be talking about
Unit 10, Part A, Activity 3B. Listen again and write the missing words. Unit 10, Part A, Activity 3C. Listen again. Complete the table in your notebook with the advantages and disadvantages of each energy source. Unit 11, Part B, Activity 2A. Kusal is spending a Sunday afternoon at Tim's house. Listen to their conversation. What are they talking about?
Last weekend, I went to the bookshop with Lynn and Mum. I got myself an interesting book. Do you want to have a look at it?
Oh yeah, sure. What is it about?
Here it is. The book is about space facts. At the beginning of the book, there's a quiz section to test your general knowledge about space. I haven't done it yet because I want to do this quiz with you. I thought it'd be fun. What do you think?
Yes, let's do it together. I'm interested to see how much I know too.
Great. Okay, so there are 2 sections, and each section has 6 questions. Let's begin with section 1. Question 1. Which planet is the closer to the Sun? The Earth or Mars?
The Earth, right? By the way, where do we check the answers?
I got the same answer as you. We can check the answers at the back of the book, after we finish each section. Okay, let me write down our answers.
Great. Okay. Question 2. What's the 4th planet from the Sun in the solar system? I honestly don't know this one. Do you?
I think it's Mars. I'm not sure though. Let's write Mars for now.
Question 3. Which planet is the closest to the Sun? Is it Mercury?
I think so. I think it's Mercury. Let's see what the next question is. Question 4. Who was the very first person to land on the moon? It's Neil Armstrong?
Yes, and that links to question 5. It says, what year did he or she land on the moon? He landed on the moon in 1969, right? Or was it 1979?
I have no idea. I only remember his name. Which answer should we go with?
Let's go with 1969. All right, last question in section 1. Where is the International Space Station located? In the sky or on the ground?
I've never read anything about a space station. Can people have a station in the sky? I don't know. What do you think?
Well, since it says space, it must be something up in the sky. But then, a station is usually a place on the ground.
Let's just guess and go with in the sky, okay?
We are done. Hey, I think we should check the answers for section 1 before moving to section 2.
Sure, okay. Let's see how many correct answers we've got.
6 out of 6! We got everything correct in section 1, even though we guessed some of them.
I know, right? Shall we move on to section 2?
Unit 13, Part A, Activity 3A. Listen and choose the correct options. Write the answers in your notebook.
Hey, hey, hey! Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share a few tips on how to improve your health without too much effort. Let's start off with how to achieve good quality sleep. Although some people believe that drinking coffee helps you sleep, you shouldn't drink it right before bed because caffeine gives you an energy boost. So you should just stick to a sleep schedule instead. For example, go to sleep at 9 or 10 p.m. regularly. After getting enough sleep, you might want to take a look at your muscles. Unless you're already happy with your body, you should start following these tips. You should eat meat, fruit, and vegetables. These foods contain protein, which helps build your muscles. In addition, you should also do muscle building, but don't do it excessively. You might be familiar with this point. In movies, people drink alcohol or caffeine when they're stressed, but this isn't a good choice. You should avoid those because they could only make you forget your problems for a short time, and they will create more anxiety and stress, much harder to deal with later. Next, with new diseases around, we should strengthen our immune system. The first thing you should do is to eat more good fats and get enough sleep, around 8 hours. All right, my last piece of advice. If you don't want diabetes, you should stop consuming too much sugar. Stop drinking fizzy drinks and energy drinks every day. Oh, look at the time. I guess that's it for this video. Make sure to keep yourself safe, and I'll see you again next week. Bye.
Unit 14, Part A, Activity 3A. Listen. Have you ever called the emergency services in your country? Is your conversation similar or different? How?
Hello, this is the emergency services. How can we help you?
I'm calling because there's an accident near where I live.
Right, tell me your name, please.
My name's Jenny.
And where are you calling from? Give me your address, please.
I'm on Renewable Boulevard in front of the Total petrol station.
Are there people who need help?
Yes, there's a man in pain. He can't move. Please come quickly and help him.
Who is with you?
I'm with my friends.
Okay, stay a safe distance away. Don't gather around the man. Most importantly, do not move or touch him. You might hurt him more. Are you safe?
Yes, but I am worried about the man.
Don't worry. The ambulance will be there in 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Unit 14, Part A, Activity 3B. Listen again. Write true, false, or not given. Unit 15, Part B, Activity 2A. Listen to the evening news stories. Choose the stories from the list that are covered in the news.
Good evening and welcome to your local evening news. Today's stories include a fire incident at a shoe factory, a new green supermarket in town, and, of course, a look at the final result of the National High School Maths Competition. Last night, there was a fire incident at a shoe factory in Snool Village. 3 security guards were injured and sent to the nearest local health center. Fortunately, no deaths were reported. 30% of the factory building burned down before the fire was completely put out. The cause of the fire has not yet been identified. It is still under investigation. Moving on to our next story. A new supermarket in the heart of Phnom Penh City was officially opened this morning. The Green Supermarket focuses on supplying only healthy choices of food, including locally grown vegetables and fruit. All the products are properly checked and identified as having no chemicals. Its manager told our reporter that the company believes it would attract more customers, as many people now want to buy healthy and safe food choices. Now, let's turn to our last news story of the evening. The National High School Maths Competition started 2 months ago, and the participants came from hundreds of high schools around the country. It was an intense competition. The 3 winners were announced yesterday at the National Convention Center. The gold medal went to Sok Kanika from Battambang. The silver medal was awarded to Kong Se La from Phnom Penh. And finally, the bronze medal goes to Di Sremom from Siem Reap. A very big round of applause to all these incredible students. That's all for our local evening news today. Thank you, and we will see you again tomorrow.
Unit 15, Part B, Activity 2B. Listen again and answer the questions. Write the answers in your notebook. Unit 16, Part B, Activity 2A. Listen to the recording and decide if the statements are true or false. Write T or F in your notebook.
Hello, Mr. Brown. Thank you very much for talking to us. For our assignment, we have to interview a professional person about their work and write a report about what we learn. Nicole and I are writing about being a journalist.
You are very welcome, Tim. I was here in Siem Reap anyway, and I'm happy to help you. What would you like to know?
Well, first of all, how do you find your stories?
Nicole, the most important thing is to be interested in what is happening in the world. You have to talk to a lot of people and ask them questions, and you have to listen carefully to what they say.
So, do you interview people a lot?
Yes, I do. But it isn't just about interviews. It's also about conversations. Sometimes we meet important people, like people from the government and business. But we also talk to local people and ask them about their lives.
Do you feel nervous when you meet important people?
Well, sometimes you can make it more relaxed by telling a joke or a small story about something interesting.
So, you have to be good at asking questions, don't you?
Yes, of course. But as I said before, you have to listen. Asking the right questions is important, but listening to the answers carefully is even more important. This is where the good information comes from.
How do you know that people are telling you the truth?
Well, I suppose that you don't, but I find that people usually don't tell lies. They tell me the parts of the story that they know or that they think are important. This is why I have to ask different people about the same story.
Have you ever written a story in the newspaper that was wrong?
Yes, it has happened when I got the wrong information or I understood it incorrectly. Sometimes newspapers get things wrong and have to say sorry. But for me, it's never been too serious.
Do you work alone or together with other journalists?
Well, there is a lot of working alone, but at the newspaper we often ask each other for favors, such as sharing information or asking each other to read our stories to check them.
Unit 16, Part B, Activity 2B. Listen again. Complete the information from Mr. Brown using the words and phrases on the right. Unit 17, Part B, Activity 3A. Listen and complete the note of an employee during an orientation at a company.
Good morning, everyone. I am Miria, and I'll walk you through the processes of how we decide the methods of advertising for our products. There are many steps, so make sure to note them down. The first step is to know the product. What is it? Who is the target audience? How much is it? What are the benefits? Knowing the answers to these questions will help you decide which method can fully show the quality of our product and attract the attention of our target customers. Secondly, you need to contact the place that can promote the product. For example, if you want a YouTube star to promote it, you should go to their channel and find their email or social media accounts. One thing you should remember is that our budget is limited, so unless the price is acceptable, don't agree without confirming with the company. To fully understand the processes, let me give you an example. Look at this item. As you can see, it's jasmine tea. It has the scent of the jasmine plant, but it's mostly made of green tea leaves. From this information, we know that the target audience might be adults. Well, I doubt most kids would enjoy drinking tea unless it's sweet. The price is 60,000 riel per box. It's a bit expensive because it promises to help with weight loss, it's good for the heart, and boosts the brain. With all of the information, I think most of us can already picture a few suitable methods. So let's hear them. Raise your hand if you want to share.
Unit 17, Part B, Activity 3B. Listen again. In your opinion, which method should they use to promote this tea? Why? Unit 21, Part A, Activity 2A. Janny is having a conversation with her father. What are they talking about?
Dad, I need to ask you about voting registration. Mom told me last night that it's time to register our names to vote in our village. I'm so excited because this is going to be my first time voting. I'm really looking forward to this election.
Oh, right. I almost forgot you're old enough to vote now. You sound so excited. My daughter is a good citizen. And yes, in order to vote, you have to register beforehand. The deadline to register here is in a month or so, I think. So we have to do it before that. We can all go together to register next Tuesday. I mean, us three except Gosal. He isn't 18 yet.
Of course. I'm a good citizen. Mom told me about the deadline too, and we definitely do not want to miss it. We have to bring our national ID cards with us in order to register, right?
Yes, we do. Is your national ID with you or with your mom?
It's with me. You know what? The other day, we had a discussion about voting in my class. We discussed if voting is a right or a responsibility as a Cambodian citizen. We were even divided into 2 teams to debate before having a whole class discussion.
That sounds interesting. What did you say?
Well, I was assigned to be on the responsibility team. I think both teams had their points and were reasonable. But during the whole class discussion, we all said it is both a right and a responsibility. What do you think, Dad?
I've got the same idea. As a citizen, you have the right to vote and choose the leaders. In other words, by law, you've got the freedom to make a choice. And at the same time, it is also a responsibility. I know you won't be punished if you don't vote, but to be a good citizen, it is your responsibility to vote and engage in civic activities.
That's what we said in our discussion too. Anyway, I need to go to the kitchen and help Mom with dinner before she starts looking for me.
Unit 21, Part A, Activity 2B. Listen again. Decide if the sentences are true or false. Write the answers in your notebook. Unit 22, Part A, Activity 2A. Listen to a talk about ASEAN. Which country joined the organisation in 1999?
The Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, was born on the 8th of August 1967 with the signing of the Bangkok Declaration in Thailand. When it was first formed, it only had 5 member states. These were Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand. By 2020, this organisation has grown into an intergovernmental 10-member state organisation. Brunei joined on the 7th of January 1984, Vietnam on the 28th of July 1995, Lao PDR and Myanmar on the 23rd of July 1997, and Cambodia on the 30th of April 1999. ASEAN aims to accelerate economic growth, social progress, and cultural development within Southeast Asia. It also seeks to promote regional peace and stability among its member states. In 2008, the ASEAN Charter was signed. This created closer cooperation between member states through the introduction of the 3 pillars or communities: the ASEAN Political Security Community, ASEAN Economic Community, and ASEAN Socio-Cultural Community. The ASEAN Charter also formalized English as the official working language of ASEAN.
Unit 22, Part A, Activity 2B. Listen again and complete the graphic organizer. Unit 22, Part A, Activity 3B. Listen, check and repeat. 1. Accelerate. D. To make something happen sooner or faster. 2. State. F. A country or its government. Three. Intergovernmental. B. Between two or more governments. Four. Promote. A. To encourage or support something. Five. Stability. C. A situation in which something can continue in a regular and successful way without unexpected changes. Six. Economic growth. E. An increase in the production of goods and services. Unit 23, Part A, Activity 4. Listen to the class discussion and answer the questions with true or false.
Hello, class. So we read about what bullying is, what kinds of bullying there are, and what you can do if you are a victim. Today, let's think about why some people bully others.
I don't understand, teacher. Really? Why does someone want to hurt another person and make them feel bad?
I realise it can be hard to understand, Lynn, but there are reasons for everything.
I don't believe it. I think that some people are just not very nice.
Well, let's talk about it. Does anyone disagree?
Yes, I do. I read something about this online. I think that bullies often have problems of their own. For example, they feel like other people are smarter than they are, or that they have more things and a better life, so they get angry.
Very good. That is a common reason why people bully. Does anyone else have any ideas?
In my opinion, some bully think that it makes them look strong and powerful, and then they think that they will become more popular in school.
Excellent. I agree. It's a similar reason, really. They don't feel that they are good enough, and so they try to make themselves look stronger and more powerful by hurting other people. Does anyone have any other ideas?
Well, I know from reading an article that some bullies don't like or are afraid of people who are different from them.
OK, Lynn, that's good. But can you give us some examples?
Well, I imagine that they don't like people who have a different skin colour, or who speak a different language, or who speak differently to them.
That's right, Lynn. Do you have any idea why they don't like different people?
I doubt that it's for any good reason. I mean, people are just people, aren't they? It doesn't matter what colour their skin is or what religion they are.
I think the reasons are complicated. Maybe Lynn's right. They are afraid, or maybe they've heard other people around them say bad things about these people, and they are just repeating it and not thinking.
I think that's probably true. Anyway, thanks everyone for all of your ideas. It's been an interesting discussion, and we'll continue with it next class.
Unit 23, Part A, Activity 5A. Listen to the recording again and point to the verbs in the box with your pencil as you hear them. Unit 23, Part B, Activity 2A. Listen to the radio programme and complete the notes with the words and phrases in the box. Write the answers in your notebook.
Hello and welcome to Modern Life, a new radio programme in which we look at social issues. Today's topic is cyberbullying. We have an expert joining us on the show who will give us some useful information about cyberbullying. Professor Brenda Scott, welcome to the programme.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, first of all, Brenda, what is cyberbullying?
Well, words that begin with cyber describe things that happen through technology. So, cyberbullying means using the internet or mobile phones to bully other people. This can be done by posting nasty or aggressive messages, or by sharing photos or videos online which are meant to hurt someone or to make them feel scared.
So, how do cyberbullies use technology to hurt other people?
Well, the most common way is probably by using social media, like Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Bullies can post messages which are aggressive or threatening, and they can also upload photos and videos which are private or embarrassing. Other people can then share these messages, photos, and videos again on their own pages, and it can even go viral, meaning that many people share them and they are seen by millions of people around the world.
Oh, I see. I didn't know that this was such a big problem. So, if someone is a victim of cyberbullying, what should they do?
At first, if the bullying is not too serious, one of the best things to do is ignore it. Don't read the posts, and don't log in to your social media account for a while. Bullies like attention, and if you aren't looking, they might leave you alone.
And what if that doesn't work?
Well, of course you should block the bullies from your account so that they can't see your page or post anything about you. And change your privacy settings so that only your friends can see any information that you post. If you don't know how to do this, you should get someone to help you. Or you can just Google it. It's easy to do. You should also tell your family or teachers. And finally, don't delete the nasty things that the bullies post until you are sure that the bullying has stopped. If it continues, you might need to show them to parents, teachers, or, if it is very serious, to the police so that they can help you.
Brenda, thank you very much for joining us today and for your information and advice. I'm sure it will help any victims of cyberbullying who are listening.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me on the show.
Unit 24, Part A, Activity 3B. Listen and check. Are your answers similar to the descriptions?
Child labour is the act of making small children quit or skip school to work in an unsuitable or dangerous environment in exchange for a small amount of money. Domestic slavery is similar to child labour, but in this case, these children cannot quit when they want to, and they might not even get paid. Child marriage is the act of making children under 18 get married, with or without their agreement. Forced criminality is when a child is forced to steal, rob, or do other illegal activities.
Unit 24, Part B, Activity 2A. Listen to the radio program. Put these sentences in order.
Welcome, Ms. Raksa. Thank you for joining us today. Can you introduce yourself?
Thank you for having me. My name is Ban Riksa. I'm a consultant with an organization called All Children. Our goal is to create a brighter society in which no one has to suffer from exploitation anymore.
What a big goal. Who usually comes to consult with you?
It's mainly children who have been protected by our organization. Because of traumatic experiences, many of them often have nightmares.
Doesn't everyone have nightmares?
These aren't your regular nightmares. The nightmares they often see are like flashbacks. Basically, it's like they're experiencing those horrible situations again.
How do they occur?
They usually occur when these children see something or someone that reminds them of their traumatic experiences. It can be somewhere that they were hurt or something that was used to harm them. We may be able to give them a better place to live, but it's almost impossible to erase their painful memories.
That sounds absolutely awful. Can these experiences interfere with their future?
Unfortunately, yes, they can. These children can grow up to have trust issues, low self-esteem, or become depressed, scared, or anxious. If this abuse happens from a very young age, the victims might even have a personality disorder.
How would we know if a child is being exploited? Are there any signs we should be aware of?
Yes, there are a few things that may help. The first sign is unexplainable bruises or wounds, for example, on their abdomen or back. Remember, the wounds are almost always on the spots that no one bothers to check. Secondly, pay attention to how they are at school. Do they often skip their classes? Do they cause trouble like they're under a lot of stress? The third point is very obvious. Do they go missing from time to time? Do they usually come home late? The fourth sign is about drugs or alcohol. And lastly, if your child comes back with expensive things or a large sum of money out of nowhere, you should investigate rather than be happy.
Let's say I found the exploiter. What should I do?
Do not approach them. Don't let them know because the exploiter might threaten the child or hurt them even more. Instead, you should quickly report them to the authorities or organizations like us so that we can give advice and investigate how to rescue the child.
Thank you for sharing such valuable information with us. I'm sure everybody will take this matter seriously from now on.
No problem. For anyone that doesn't know who to contact, call our number.
And thanks again, Ms. Raksa. Please have a nice day. Goodbye.
Unit 25, Part B, Activity 2A. Listen to a radio program called Teens Talk. What topic is Professor Bopa talking about today?
Good evening. This is Linda, your Teens Talk radio host. Unlike our normal weekly show, today we won't be starting with an interview or discussion, but with a talk by Professor Bopa on one of the most important social issues. Professor Bopa will be talking about the impact of alcohol on teenagers. So, welcome, Professor Bopa, and thank you for being here with us today. Our listeners and I are very interested in hearing your research and thoughts on this topic.
Thank you for having me on the Teens Talk show, Linda. As with any other social issues, we must pay attention to the growing impact of alcohol on our teenagers. People who are underage, mustn't drink alcohol because it could cause them many issues. Alcohol, without a doubt, causes many health risks. Teenagers are still in the stage of growing physically and mentally, and alcohol can interfere with that. It affects the health of the inner organs such as the liver, the heart, and the digestive system. They might experience confusion or unconsciousness. It can have short-term and long-term side effects on their health. In addition to that, our research shows that teenagers who have consumed alcohol tend to have lower concentration. For instance, some of them are not able to concentrate on their studies or other activities. They lose focus and do not want to communicate with their teachers, peers, or even family. Very often, we find that they consume so much alcohol that it leads to addiction. Without proper help, it is possible that this addiction carries on into adulthood. This is where the problem becomes even more serious. That is the reason why we must work together as a community to ensure that teenagers can't have access to alcoholic products. It isn't about punishing them, but rather helping them to stay out of it. As parents and families, we must educate our children about the risk of underage drinking and provide them support when needed. We must also set up some rules. For instance, there can't be alcohol served in parties with underage teenagers. Anyone who is in school premises, whether adults or not, can't bring in alcohol for any purposes. At home, parents mustn't allow their teenage children to engage in drinking alcohol. It is important that we mustn't break any rules that we set.
That's all interesting and useful information, Professor Bopa. Now it's time for a short commercial break. After our commercial break, Professor Bopa will take questions from our listeners, so please call in and engage with us.
Unit 25, Part B, Activity 2B. Listen again. Fill in the gaps with the words you hear. Unit 27, Part A, Activity 2. Work in pairs. How does Jenny feel? Why do you think she feels that way? Then listen and check. Did you guess right?
Hi, Mom. I have some good news and some bad news. Which would you like to hear first?
Let's go with the bad news first, Jenny. What's up? Do you need more money?
No, Mom. I'm going away.
You going away? What do you mean?
I'm moving abroad to England.
What? When did you decide to? How?
Mom, relax. I've been offered a scholarship.
Wow, that's really good news. I'm so proud of you, Jenny. I'll call you back in a minute. I can't wait to tell your dad.
Mom, wait!
Unit 27, Part A, Activity 3. Listen and answer the questions.
Johnny, I'm so happy for you. Come home soon. We must celebrate.
Yes, Dad. I'm visiting in 2 weeks. I have to wait for further instructions from the scholarship organization and the embassy.
So when do you leave?
Well, Mom, I don't have to leave until early next year, so I still have plenty of time to do what I need to.
And what do you need to do exactly?
Well, first I have to apply and be accepted at one of the universities in England. They need to know which university I will be studying at, so I must do this soon. I need to apply to at least 2 universities.
Great. Knowing you, you've already thought about this, right?
Of course, Dad. And I also have to get a new passport. My old one's expired. Then, when I've done that, I have to apply for a student visa. I might also need to complete forms for the immigration office, but I'll worry about that later. Ugh, I don't really like going there.
Do you need to shop for new clothes? I'll go shopping with you.
Thanks, Mom, but I don't need to do that now. Oh, I guess we can do some shopping. There's a ceremony at the embassy next week to welcome the new scholars. Me and the other scholars have to be there. Parents are invited too, but they don't really have to go. Would you come, Mom, Dad?
Of course.
Sure. Now, Lekana, let's go shopping now. Talk to you soon, Jenny.
Bye, Dad. Bye, Mom.
Unit 28, Part A, Activity 2A. Listen to Janny asking Richard and Tim about life in London. Answer the questions.
Hi, Tim. Hi, Richard. Thanks for inviting me over to talk. I'm a bit nervous about going to study in London, so it would be great to ask you some questions.
Oh, you're welcome, Jenny. We're very excited for you. Please ask us anything you like.
Oh, yes. It's nice to talk about England with you, Jenny. What would you like to know?
Well, I want to know about the things that will be different. I've only lived in Siem Reap, so I don't know what to expect.
Yes, London is certainly different to Siem Reap. It's much busier and more crowded for a start. There are over 10 million people in and around London, and you can spend a long time travelling from one place to another.
Oh, wow, that sounds really big.
It is, and it's much more diverse than Siem Reap. There are foreigners from all over the world living in London. Only about half were born in Britain. People have moved to the UK from all over the world.
Oh, that sounds interesting. I'd like to meet lots of different people.
There is something about London that isn't great, though. It isn't as cheap as living in Siem Reap. It's a lot more expensive. Things like a room to live in, transport, and eating out cost much more than here.
Yes, I've heard that before. Is everything very expensive?
No, some things are cheaper. Buying things for your house, good quality clothes, and food in supermarkets are all a little cheaper than Cambodia.
What's the weather like? What kinds of clothes will I need?
It's much colder than here, especially in winter, and it's windier too. You'll need thicker clothes like sweaters, a coat, and a hat in winter. In summer, it can be quite warm, but not always.
Yes, the weather is very different in winter than in summer. Over the year, the climate is much cooler than in Cambodia, and it isn't as sunny. Oh, and it rains a lot.
Okay, thanks for that. It sounds like everything is very different.
Not everything. Some things are similar. People like to do some of the same things in their free time. They like to go out and meet their friends and hang out together.
Okay, thanks very much. I'm sure I'll have more questions. Can I talk to you again?
Of course you can, Jenny. Anytime.
Unit 28, Part A, Activity 2B. Listen again and complete the sentences with the words from the box. Unit 28, Part B, Activity 4B. Listen to Janny talking to Kusal and Tim and check your answers.
Oh, hi, Jenny. Nice to hear from you. Tim's here with me, so we can all talk.
Hey, Jenny. How are things going over there in London? Are you enjoying it?
Hi, nice to talk to you both. Yes, it's all good. It was a bit strange at first, and I had some culture shock. but I'm getting used to life here now and enjoying it.
Oh, that's good to hear. What is it like studying in England?
Oh, fine. Now that I'm used to things. I took a day off last week and found out that you have to attend class every day. You can't stay at home without a good reason. They are stricter here than in Cambodia about that.
Yeah, that's true, but it's a good thing. It's better not to miss class.
True. I'm fine with it. I just didn't know. Also, I wanted to get a part-time job to practice English and earn some money. But in England, you mustn't work on a student visa. However, you can work at the university and they have some part-time jobs. So I'm gonna find out about that.
That sounds like a good idea. What about the food? Is it very different to the food here?
It is different, and I don't like everything, but some of it's really nice. You don't need to eat British food all the time. There's food from all over the world in London, so there are many new things to try. Tim, should I leave a tip when I eat out in England?
Well, you don't have to leave a tip, especially at lunchtime, but it's polite, and many people do it. It's up to you, really. If you eat in the evening, it's more common.
Oh, yes, and I have another question. I'm going to an English person's house for dinner next week. Can you give me any advice about what to do?
Well, when you meet people in England, you should arrive on time. A few minutes is okay, but it's rude to be more than about 15 minutes late. Oh, and if someone cooks for you, you must say something nice about the food. Say that it's really good, even if you don't like it.
What about riding a bicycle in London? How are you finding that? The roads are much bigger and busier than here, aren't they?
Yes, and here they drive on the left, of course, and you need to follow the traffic rules carefully. People get angry, and it's easy to have an accident if you don't. And you should wear a helmet to cycle. It isn't a law, but it's much safer because the traffic is faster here.
It sounds like you're settling in very well in England, Jenny. I think you're adapting to life in England very quickly. Have you been feeling homesick?
No, not really. I feel a little disorientated sometimes when I don't know how to do things. And of course, I miss my country and my family and friends. But it's exciting to be in a new country, and I'll be back in Cambodia next year.
That's great, Jenny.
Listen, sorry, Johnny, but we have to go out now. We are playing football this afternoon. Call again soon.
I will. Tell Mom and Dad I'll call them soon. Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
Jenny.
Johnny.
Unit 29, Part A, Activity 5A. Listen to these people talking about their jobs and fill in the gaps.
1. Hi, I'm Malika. I'm a librarian at AB University. My daily tasks are to tidy the library, put the books back on the shelves, and check out books for students to borrow. Occasionally, I have to find new online resources for the library's website and arrange events for students to attend as well.
2. My name is Van. Being a hairstylist is harder than you think. Normally, I have to come up with new hairstyles, cut or dye the customer's hair, and style them for important events like weddings. Sometimes, my customers ask me to find some good hair products like shampoo and conditioner to fix hair problems.
Unit 29, Part B, Activity 2C. Listen to the full conversation and check your answers. Which position does Jenny want to apply for?
Professor, can I talk to you for a bit?
Yes, come in. What can I help you with?
My name is Jenny. I'm interested in these two positions that I found in the Students magazine, and I want to know more, but I don't want to call them yet. My friend told me to come and consult with you instead.
Aw, no worries. You're not the first student who has approached me about this. Which posts are you interested in?
I'm deciding between barista and administrative assistant.
Let me take a look at the adverts. Since you're a new student, you might not know much about our university's dormitory and its system yet, so you shouldn't apply for this post this year.
Okay, that makes sense. What about the position as a barista?
Can you handle these duties?
Yes, I'm confident that I can complete my duties properly.
That's wonderful to hear. But you should know that these aren't everything. There will be some extra tasks you might need to do, such as getting ingredients, ringing up customers, etc.
Why don't they list them on the advert?
In my opinion, they will let you know during the interview process, since the extra tasks are things that you only need to do occasionally. Oh, this point is interesting. Can you multitask? Like do a few things at once?
I'm not very good at it yet, but I can learn.
It may be hard at first. You might also feel overwhelmed when that happens. So remember to stay calm and do the important ones first.
Yes, I understand.
Do you have any personal qualities that you're proud of?
If you're asking about my characteristics, then I have to say that I'm very outgoing and hardworking, which is why I believe I can handle these duties.
Your qualities are just right for working in customer service. Employers usually keep an eye out for these qualities.
Professor, I don't have any experience working as a barista. Can I still apply?
Of course. Desirable requirements are just something that will make you stand out. But if you don't have them, they'll still consider you.
I was so worried.
Don't be. Also, you need to show them that you're motivated to learn new things so that they know you won't slack off when they teach you. One thing I'm concerned about is this point. Can you take on different shifts?
I'm not too sure either, but I will discuss with them if they call me for an interview.
Yes, you can negotiate with them about things that you can't do. Are you aware of the disadvantages of working part-time as a scholarship student?
I know. I will have less time studying. However, I think I can manage it. Anyway, thank you for your time, Professor. I have to get to class now.
All right. Be safe and good luck, Chani.
Unit 30, Part A, Activity 2. Janie is talking to her classmate, Jen, about her interest in applying for a part-time job. Listen and fill in the gaps with the words you hear.
Hey, Chani, what are you working on?
Oh, hey, Jen. I'm drafting a cover letter, but I feel like it's not going anywhere. I've never written one, so I'm a little lost on what I should include.
You're applying for that part-time barista position you told me about. Cool. Well, I've done once or twice before, just simple ones for students like us. I'm not great at it, but I can definitely share what I know.
Yes, it's the barista position, and it'd be great if you can share it with me, Jen. Thank you.
No worries. So, in the cover letter, we write the date in the top corner. We often put the name of the person who is going to read our cover letter, but sometimes they have the name in the advertisement, but sometimes they don't. Then below the name is the address of the place you're applying to.
Okay, I think I've got this right. I gave them a call and they told me to send my cover letter and CV to Miss Carol Thompson.
Oh, that's great. Begin the main part of the letter by simple greetings such as, "Dear Miss Thompson." Then start the first paragraph by showing your interest in the position you're applying for and where you saw the job advertisement.
Oh, I've got that here as well. Do you think it is okay for me to say that I am currently an international student?
Yeah, sure. All right then, next paragraph. You can focus on highlighting your potential and skills that would make you the right candidate for the job. For example, how good you are at dealing with customers.
Okay, I think I know what you mean. Let me write it down.
And in the following paragraph, you should talk about your personality, such as being hardworking or being able to communicate well with others.
Okay, noted. And the final part is to tell them how to contact me if they are interested in learning more about me, right?
Yes, that's right. Remember, this job is for students like us, so don't worry too much about not having prior working experience or anything. Plus, your English is great already.
Thank you, Jen. That's very nice of you. I was actually worried because English isn't my first language. I'll look at these notes again and finish this cover letter tonight. And I'll work on my CV later.
Good luck, and let me know if you need any help.
Unit 31, Part B, Activity 2B. Listen to Jenny having an interview for the barista job. As you listen, make a note of Jenny's answers in your notebook.
Hello, Channy. It's nice to meet you.
Hello, Mrs. Thompson. Thank you for seeing me.
So, you are interested in working as a barista in our coffee shop. Why have you decided to apply for this job?
Well, I would like to get some work experience here. I'm studying at the moment, but I'm hardworking and I like to be busy. I also enjoy working with people and it would be very good for practicing my English.
Okay, Channy. Those sound like good reasons. Do you have any work experience for this job? For example, have you served food and drinks before?
I haven't worked in a coffee shop before, but in Cambodia, I used to help my mom on her market stall. She sells fruit and vegetables, so I'm used to dealing with customers and to handling cash. Also, I love coffee, so I'm interested in learning how to make it.
Okay, that sounds good, Channy. We can train you to make the drinks, so that's fine. Do you have any other experience that would be useful in this job?
I expect that I will have to keep the work areas clean. I've always helped to keep our family home clean.
Okay, Channy. I'd like to know how you would describe yourself. What do you think are your best qualities?
Well, I'm hardworking, as I said before. I like having things to do. I'm punctual and reliable. And I think I'm a calm person. I don't get stressed if things go wrong. I'm also very cooperative. I enjoy working in a team.
Well, that's what we're looking for, Channy. You sound like a confident person. Are you ambitious?
Yes, I think so. I would like to do well in the future for myself and my family.
What would you like to do after you graduate?
I would like to have my own business. I think perhaps in tourism or maybe even open my own hotel.
Can you be flexible with the times that you work?
Yes, of course. I have to attend classes, but I have some mornings and afternoons free. And I can work evenings and at the weekend.
All of our employees are students, so that will be fine. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes. When does the job start?
Well, we need someone as soon as possible. If I offer you the job, can you start on Saturday morning?
Yes, I can.
Well, Channy, in that case, I'm happy to offer you the job. Welcome to the team.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Mrs. Thompson.
See you at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning.